Guesses at this one. The U is back. They're in college football's Final Four. Which Miami player caught the most touchdown passes in the National Football League?
And it's crazy because Himbo didn't go wide receiver. He went player. He tried to be very technical. I'm still going to go Andre Johnson.
Andre Johnson is third. Reggie Wayne is second. A name I did not hear once in all the guesses in this room was Jimmy Graham. I heard the name Bubba Franks by Brandon. Brandon guessed Bubba Franks. You guys had a couple of other, Jeremy Shockey.
Should have known this one too.
And that's Brandon. He's like, Greeny, I think it's Bubba Franks. Anyway, the answer is Jimmy Graham with 89.
Sean Payton got him the ball a lot.
It was Jimmy Graham, then Reggie Wayne, then Andre Johnson, then Santana Moss, and then the playmaker, Michael Irvin. Okay, congratulations to Miami. They're on their way. Meanwhile, let's play a game of Who You Got, NFL playoff style. We got the final weekend here, and let's focus in on this game in the AFC North, Sunday night. Mike T, this one will decide the division. Who do you like, Ravens, Steelers?
It's got to be the Ravens, Greedy. Earlier, Harry talked about how hot Derrick Henry is. We're looking at here. Pittsburgh's defense has been moribund, disappointing, whatever you want to call it. And then, obviously, who is Aaron Rodgers going to throw the ball to? So, on paper, I like Baltimore by a lot.
How about you, Harry?
Yeah, I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens as well. Todd Monken, just don't mess it up as the offensive coordinator. Feed the beast. Derrick Henry has been one of the game's greatest running backs, the streak that he's on right now, being able to be like top 3, top 5 in rushing every single year that he completes a season. Feed the beast, allow him to take you to the promised land.
Shefty doesn't make picks, but he does let you know who will and won't be on the field. Shefty, for those just joining us, how about all the injury stuff surrounding Steelers and Ravens for Sunday night?
Well, for starters, Greeny, it certainly feels like Lamar Jackson is now tracking to play. Having been a full participant in practice on Wednesday, he hasn't done that since about week 10. So that tells you that Lamar is going to be out there. Mike Tomlin sounded a note of optimism earlier in the week about TJ Watt being out there. However, I still think they need to see him get through the week of practice and how he recovers from that partially collapsed lung before they say he's ready to go on Sunday night. But Lamar will be out there. There's a real possibility TJ Watt will be out there. And we know the Steelers, of course, won't have DK Metcalf, who will be serving the second game of that 2-game suspension.
I will take Pittsburgh because absolutely no one else is, and we all know how things go when you do that. Panthers versus the Bucs is the first of our doubleheader games on Saturday. This one will most likely determine the winner of the NFC South, although there is a little wrinkle in there. If Tampa wins, they still have to sweat out one of the results from Sunday. But that said, Mike T, who do you like in this game?
I'll go with the Panthers. I did the game last week between the Buccaneers and the Dolphins. I'm just telling you, Baker Mayfield isn't right. Something is wrong with him physically. He grabbed his knee a couple times. And even though I think Carolina is a year away from being a year away, they're doing a really good job taking the ball away. I think Tedero McMillan's going to be a star. And Bryce Young, a little up and down, but I think he's going to do just enough for them to beat Tampa.
Harry, how about you?
Yeah, I'm going with the Panthers as well. Mike T, you did the game last week of the Bucs. I did the game the previous week, the Panthers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bryce Young and the way he's playing right now, in my opinion, the ability to extend plays. You look at that game versus the Saints. He was able to pick up a 3rd and 8, a 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10 with his legs. That game versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, being able to buy time in the pocket, throw a touchdown pass to his tight end, and then one-on-one on the outside right before halftime. Todd Bowles and that defense go cover 0. Tedero McMillan, perfect pass. And then late in that ball game to get in field goal range, Jalen Coker hits him on a go route as well. He did a great job winning one-on-one. I'm going with Bryce Young in the Panthers.
Could you see either of these teams, whichever one it is that winds up in the playoffs? Because, again, Atlanta can have a say in who wins the division, but it can't be the Saints or the Falcons. It'll either be Tampa or Carolina. Could you see either of them winning a playoff game?
No.
Yeah. Okay. That was a pretty definitive answer. You agree with that?
Absolutely, because someone from the North is going to go there as a road favorite. So, or the West.
Yep.
They're a better team.
That's the way it feels. Shefty, any injury stuff? Anything we need to know about Tampa and Carolina in the early game Saturday?
Well, you heard Mike allude to Baker's knee, and he has not looked right. And I would just say this, that over the last 6 weeks, it's very strange because the Buccaneers are at home. They're playing for the division title. But over the last 6 or so weeks in the National Football League, there has not been a team in the NFC that has played worse football than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They might be the worst team in the NFC over the last 6 weeks, which is hard to imagine. But if you look at it, that's how they've played. They have a chance to turn it around Sunday, one game to get right. But the way they've played recently will not get it done against the Panthers.
Tampa's a 2.5-point favorite, according to DraftKings, as I look at the app right now. And then finally, we have the Seahawks and 49ers. That's our game Saturday night, and it's pretty simple. Winner is the 1 seed in the NFC. Loser falls into the wild card pool. Mike T, who do you like?
I'll go with Seattle. Look, Sam Darnold, I know it's been a little up and down, but I think he's the better quarterback. His ceiling is higher than Brock Purdy, as good as Brock Purdy's playing. Smith and Jigba is really good.
Whoa.
So I, as good as Brock Purdy is, I think if Sam Darnold plays his A game, they win this game.
Now, Harry's looking at him funny.
How dare you disrespect Vanilla Vic like that? Brock Purdy being able to elude pressure, do it with his legs, throw with anticipation. Mike T, I disagree with you. I believe Brock Purdy is going to be the better quarterback in this matchup. I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers also because of Christian McCaffrey.
I think I heard Shefty reacting to that as well. How about it, Mike Shefty?
There hasn't been a hotter quarterback in football the last couple of weeks than Brock Purdy. He's been lighting it up. He's been playing great football. And it looks like he's going to have back George Kittle on Saturday night. George Kittle told reporters yesterday he absolutely plans to be out there after missing one game due to a sprained ankle. So it will be a hot Brock Purdy with the addition of George Kittle. Seattle's been a great football team all year long. Two great teams. One of them gets the number 1 seed in the NFC.
I'll take the 49ers at home. And then for all the teams that are in the playoff hunt, there is one other area of particular interest in this last week because there's a bunch of teams in the mix for high draft picks. And we sit and watch how all that jockeys out. As we enter Week 18, the Raiders currently hold the top pick in next year's draft. A loss to the Chiefs officially clinches that first pick. I would bet my house they lose that game. So we'll see. The Giants are in the 2 spot right now, but already drafted a first-round quarterback last year in Jaxson Dart. And this is the projected order of picks right now. And look, Shefty, you've heard all the conversation here and other places this week because there are some people, credible people, who believe the Giants should at least consider.
Like Mike Tannenbaum. Yep.
Like Mike Tannenbaum is one of them. And Mike Tannenbaum, for as much fun as I have with him, is an extremely credible person who believes that the Giants should at least consider the possibility of using the first or second pick in the draft on a quarterback, on Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore, rather than sticking just blindly with Jaxson Dart. I'll let you make that point. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Greeny, as we talked about this morning, I think the analogy is you go back to what Sean McVay and the Rams did. They gave a massive extension to Jared Goff, over $100 million in guarantee, and at 15 months later, they traded for Matt Stafford because they thought it was the right opportunity. I think Jaxson Dart's going to be a good player. Hard stop. Is he going to be a B or an A? Nobody knows, but I think it's probably more of a B. Regardless, if you're the Giants, you absolutely have to go through the process and juxtapose, are we better off, let's say, if we can get Mendoza over Dart? To me, the answer is yes. Based on, if you just go to that one game against Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship, he gets hit hard. He beats a team that has at least 5 first-round picks against an NFL defensive coordinator and does something that they haven't done since 1967, win the Big Ten Championship. Then you take Jaxson Dart and trade him to half a dozen teams on that list, Greeny, and get a first-round pick for him. So to me, the dogmatic aspect of saying, well, we have Dart, we're fine, is wrong. You need to be process-driven and say what is best for us once we get all the information.
Shefty, go.
Okay, a few things. First of all, you said you bet your house that the Raiders lose on Sunday, Greeny. Don't do that because the Chiefs are playing Chris Olakun at quarterback. They're going to be resting regulars. And if you remember last year, you would have bet everything that the New England Patriots would lose in the last game, only to see Buffalo essentially allow New England to win, which knocked New England from the number 1 pick. I could see a scenario like this on Sunday. As for Mike Tannenbaum's scenario, I don't see the Giants doing that at all. That's not their plan. Their plan is to go with Jaxson Dart. And right now, the Giants are in the number 2 position. If the Giants lose on Sunday, they can pick no worse than second in the draft. If they win Sunday, they could fall as low as number 7, which would render this whole conversation moot anyway. So it wouldn't even matter. But the Giants, if they lose on Sunday, they're locked into a top 2 pick, depending on what happens with the Raiders. And I don't think it's a lock that the Raiders are going to lose on Sunday. But if the Giants win, all bets are out the window. They could fall back as far as number 7 in the draft order. And I don't care whether the Giants are 1, 2 or 7, I do not expect that they're going to be taking a quarterback, despite how much Mike Tannenbaum may want that to happen.
And that's a massive risk because, and let me tell you why, you're going to drive to the stadium every day saying that, what happens if Fernando Mendoza turns out to be Matt Ryan?
Right.
What a massive risk they're taking.
But what if he doesn't?
Mike,
I mean, these things are all risky.
You have lost your mind.
Yeah.
I am not risking a player that I don't know is going to pan out, and I'm hoping pans out, and I already have a quarterback that has shown me that he can play in the National Football League. I'm not doing that.
I'll also say this.
Mike, you keep saying that Fernando Mendoza is an A and Jaxson Dart's a B when the Giants right now think Jaxson Dart's an A and these unknowns are Bs. So your thinking is opposite of what their thinking is right now. We'll see how it plays out. All I'm saying is I don't expect it to be a factor.
Right. And I'm just saying, when you look at Dart's body of work, it's an incomplete grade, like most rookie quarterbacks. I'm just saying that when you look at Mendoza, in my opinion, he has a higher upside.
And then I'll just finish it by saying Raiders-Chiefs, scoreless tie. Who says no? Who says no? I can't see. I'm having hard times after
Don't
the way
bet your house, Greeny. Don't bet your house.
That's a good point. Maybe I'll just bet one wing. All right. Coming up on First Take, did Ryan Day blow the Buckeyes?